Welcome back for another video. The fixtures for the upcoming season has just dropped for the entirety of the season, and we will be looking at good options for the season ahead of the first few game weeks. So let's take a look at the teams and top players pick ahead of the first few game weeks. We will be starting off with Liverpool players, of who we must look chiefly at Mo Salah. Liverpool will be starting the season away to newly promoted Fulham. No player last season scored more goals than Salah or created more than his 14 assists. Although he has a season of two halves. We all could see how good he is when he is on form. Luis Diaz completes the attackers for us from Liverpool, having a 4.9 point per game in his time at Liverpool. He would most likely have a more important role in the club this season, with the departure of key players. We also see Trent and Robertson, who among themselves had 23 assists and 5 goals. You might make the case for having both in your team draft for the season, however, with the cost of the players you may be keen to try players elsewhere. Elsewhere, Arsenal starts are there to consider, with Tierney most likely to be back at the start of the season. After his injury last season, we could see how Arsenal suffered defensively, and with his 4.8 point per game, he is certainly a good pick considering his price. Saka completes the Arsenal players to watch heading into the new season. Saka was their standout player last season, lodging 20 goal involvement. No reason not to consider him as the season draws near. Elsewhere, Man City starts the season with games against West Ham. Cancelo was their player with the most points and seems to be a standout performer among defenders in FPL. Also, new signing Erling Haaland scored 22 goals last season in the Germans League and created 8 more. Statistically, he produced a goal involvement every 63 minutes. He is certainly one to watch heading into the new season. Kevin De Bruyne came out with 6.5 points per match, and we cannot also forget in a hurry his game against Wolves, where he scored 30 points. Which turned out to be the season's highest. His sensational 23 goal involvement was only bettered by a few players last season, and we would hope he can do more next season. Ben Chilwell and Reece James were very promising picks at the start of the season, but we forced out of a lot of games due to injuries. Chilwell was out for most of the season and only had 6 starts, and in that time, he had 3 goals and an assist, which saw him land 7.9 points per game. The style of play along with James gives them the opportunity to score many goals, which makes them premium picks also for the new season. Elsewhere is Mason Mount, who has been Chelsea's player of the season 2 years running. He scored the most goals and gave the most assists last season. With the opening fixtures for the Blues, it wouldn't hurt to have 1 or 2 of the players. This breakdown cannot be complete without mentioning Tottenham's players. And among Tottenham's players, Son was one of the 2 players to win the Golden Boot last season, and for him it was an award that came without any penalty goals. Picking Kane could also be an option, but with Son set to likely stay a midfielder, he would be a better pick than Kane. Doherty and Kulusevski are also players that proved last season to be worthy of a place in people's teams. However, a price rise will be expected for both players. Teams you should stay away from this opening fixtures are the newly promoted sides with fixtures that look difficult. We're very excited for the new season. And do hope you subscribe in anticipation for what is to come. Goodbye for now.